movies you walk in a funny way, like it's your natural walking way or something. No, it's very funny actually. It's a lovely thing.
I guess.
Okay, and if you can tell us something more about your friendship with Tom Hanks and Nicolas Cage. Actually happened something really funny on set. That's all.
Something really funny that happened with Tom or with Nicolas Cage on, oh gosh. Wow, it's like trying to think of so long ago. But I just do remember about both of them. And all of the men that I've worked with, just so charming and fun. And I haven't had a bad experience with anybody. Everybody's so different, and I think everybody that I've worked with has been a real pro and really smart and willing to have fun and not taking everything too seriously. So I've been very lucky.
Thank you.
If there was an outtakes of Meg Ryan's film career, what would be on it?
Oh,
an outtakes reel of things that have gone wrong.
So embarrassing. I mean, what hasn't gone wrong? I mean, I remember them having to. I mean, endlessly. Like, you know, we have to reshoot that Meg. We saw the dailies. You had lunch in your teeth. I mean, endlessly things go wrong.
And the peanut butter jar at the beginning.
Yes. Mostly about me not knowing what.
Other questions? In the back there.
Deli, you said earlier that it was your idea to shoot it that way at the Katz Deli, so I wondered if there are any other ideas of yours in the film.
Oh, it wasn't my idea to shoot it that way. It was just my idea that she should do it instead of just talk about it. And then everybody else, that's what's great about being in a movie set. It's a collaboration at its best. It's so great. It's a community of people all working together, right? So, you know, Rob had the funny line or Billy had the funny line. So on its own it doesn't work, but with all of how he shot it, the timing of how Rob cut it, all that stuff makes a comic moment. They're very constructed. Comedies are very mathematical in a kind of way. They have to do with I know I'm not answering your question, but they do have to do with a lot of happy accidents and then real structure. So those and romantic comedies too aren't slapstick, and they're not drama and they're not comedy. They're kind of both. So tonally, they really have to hit something very precise. And those are really why those early movies are such an inspiration, because you can deconstruct them and see that, oh, this is really about class, and oh, this is really about, you know, taking a snapshot of culture and society right at that time. So there's a lot of intelligence that goes into something that is seemingly light. And I think I always think about what some of Hugh Grant said, that doing a romantic comedy is like being a balloon in a world of pins. And it's true. You have to just keep yourself from getting deflated and popped, and that takes a kind of precision. So every movie, I remember I've done, I don't know how many movies where the script started out named something completely different, and somebody in the crew had a better idea, and we named it that. I think When Harry Met Sally started out being called something different. I think somebody like who was in the lighting team came up with the title, and the same with French Kiss. So it's it really is a deeper collaboration than you could ever guess. Everybody's important on a movie set.
Here in the second row with the white shirt.
Hello. I know it's a long time ago, but I would like to know how it was to work with the great Tony Scott in Top Gun and the great Oliver Stone in The Doors. Thank you.
Yeah, both really strong. With Top Gun, I had like 2 scenes, and I remember Tony Scott saying to me, "All right, Meg, in this scene you're happy." And the next day for my next scene, he goes, "All right, Meg, in this scene you're sad." All right, that's enough to go on. Fantastic, thank you. And Oliver was just wild. I mean, just wild, a wild man. And he had a fantastic crew who really understood him, and he was a really improvisational filmmaker too, in terms of the camera. So that was fun, and he knew what he was doing. So.
In the back with the white shirt.
Hi, it's nice to see you here in Locarno. I wanted to ask you something a bit different. It's more of a mainstream movie you did, The Women, and I just wanted to ask you to say maybe something about it, because I kind of grew up watching more mainstream movies before getting into film, and it's kind of one of my first memories of feeling empowered as a woman. So I was just curious to know something about the movie.
The movie The Women.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that movie too.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun making it, and we knew we were remaking a classic, and what were we doing that? And there are different sets of I mean, there are different goals when you're making a mainstream movie than when you're making an independent movie. I mean, you're going to be interested in the test scores. You're going to be interested that the main characters are really sympathetic. You are going to be interested in A, B, and C laughs. And Diane English, the director, had such a great run on Murphy Brown. She was so smart about women and representing them in an intelligent way. And also, we always loved that she liked to light us beautifully. She took a lot of care that way. It made us all feel great. And somebody like Deborah Messing is really fun. Eva Mendes, a blast. So a lot of times when you're an actress on a film, actually, you're the only girl there, the only actress, one of the only actresses. And so that was unique too, to see how everybody else did it. To see, oh, it's not so weird for me to like the hair person to be on standby. Everybody has their own little picadillos, So there was a tremendous confederacy. I think most of the women there felt that way, that you're very rarely in one another's company. And yeah, so it was unique that way too.
And you were really glamorous in that film.
I was very glamorous.
Yeah, it was cool. There are two questions that are actually behind the barricade. I don't know if you can get to them. Both gentlemen are wearing black shirts, one in the back and one closer to the barricade. In the very back.
Hello? Here?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Hello?
Hello.
I think you said one day that Hollywood is not doing nice roles for a woman over 40. Do you think there's an improvement now, and now you are a producer? Are you trying to change that, and are you working in that direction?
Yes, when you're a producer, really, mostly what you do is you try to find material. You throw like 100 things at the wall, hoping 2 stick. That's a good ratio even there. So I'm interested. I'm not necessarily just interested in stories about women. I do think the unique thing is to tell the story through a feminine lens, and that doesn't necessarily have to be about women. Like I liked doing Ithaca because it was about being a mother, but it was about a mother raising not a daughter but a son, and how a boy becomes a man, and what that, from a mother's perspective, what that is. I think television has done, the expansion of quality television has done a great thing for women. And I remember maybe 15 or 20 years ago, television was the place that they sent female executives. They just sent them there. It was a kind of a backwater. And now, those executives and that talent has ripened. And now it's where we all have our men and women have our best opportunity. There's money that's secure there. The studios are now making tentpole movies more than indie movies. It's really rare if you can find the money for a drama to do. but that there's something in the genesis of that of television right now that the kernel of that is that's where they sent the ladies.
Unfortunately, they told me we have time for one last question, so perfect.
Okay, is it working? Cool.
Yes.
Hi, Meg.
Hi.
Thanks for being here. Just a general question. If you look at all those market trends at the moment, I mean, subscriber numbers across all those online streaming platforms are just exploding. The admission numbers in cinema are just decreasing. What is your personal perspective on the future of cinema?
That's a great question.
Good question.
Wow.
Good
My
job.
personal. Are you pointing to the woman next to you? I think, hopefully, we need stories. And the delivery system of stories, now, I mean, I have a friend who watches Turner Classic Movies on their phone. And part of that makes me feel like, oh, you don't know what you're missing to watch it on a bigger screen and with people. But then again, he is watching The Awful Truth and, Bringing Up Baby. So there's no stopping the progress of how we're going to deliver entertainment. There's just no stopping it. And right now, it's created such a wonderful opportunity in television. There's nothing to sneeze at there. But when it comes to film, I hope that the experience that some of you have had in the big Piazza Grande, with 8,000 people watching a film, that is unique. And that adds something, that you'll remember that movie, or you'll remember that night. And I hope we don't lose that.
I want to thank Meg Ryan for being so generous.